Hello everybody, Adam here, and before we get on with today's final episode of Prinkle's Excellent Adventure, it is time for yet another giveaway. To celebrate the start of Shadows of the Jedi Chapter 2, we are giving away a copy of the Force Awakens Beginner Box, generously donated once again by Malcolm and Liz Hazel. Thank you very much for that, guys. As always, you are one of the rocks of this show. If you want to win it, it's very, very simple. There will be a pinned tweet on Twitter and a pinned post on Facebook. Simply follow us, like that post, and either retweet or share depending on your medium. Winner will be announced in a fortnight's time when we start Shadows of the Jedi properly. Patrons get a bonus additional entry as a thank you for backing the show. If you want to double your chances to win or throw us a couple of dollars, you can find us at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. Right, without any further ado, you know how it goes. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors.
Hey you! Try the cool, refreshing taste of deuterium ice.
Deuterium ice.
Available all along the Hydean Way.
Ice.
At all good retailers and bad retailers.
Baby.
Deuterium ice.
Deuterium ice.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I'm the GM for episode 5. How many is this going to go on for? Of Prinkle's Excellent Adventure. With me, as always, is Adam.
Hello, I'm Adam.
You'll be playing Prinkle.
I'll be playing Prinkle.
Mm-hmm. And also with me today is Mim.
Mim is
Hi.
not playing Prinkle.
I'm Mim and I'm not playing Prinkle.
She's not playing Prinkle.
I should probably say I'm not playing Prinkle either.
No, but at least one of us is, and that's okay.
That's the important thing. At least one of us is playing Prinkle.
If none of us were playing Prinkle, this would not be Prinkle's Excellent Adventures.
No, there wouldn't be any catalyst to go forward, really, would there?
No.
It'd just be me sitting here going, oh, and then the Imperials do stuff. And I don't think that would sell.
And let's be fair here, if it wasn't Prinkle, if Prinkle wasn't here, there'd be no story to tell. We need to find out if he gets his broom. That's ultimately what this comes down to. I know that's what the listeners have been rooting for since episode 1.
It's certainly the arc I was playing at.
Yeah. Will he get his broom?
So, like any shopping trip, Prinkle has been mistaken for a celebrity, put in a dangerous pod race, rescue an Imperial operative, and is now, at present, on an Imperial space station with the alarms going off. And Prinkle, unlike many people on this station, know why the alarms are going off. Commander Drom has just called in, said they have Grey Echo, and they're leaving. And Prinkle was making his way through the panicked party guests back towards the hangar bay.
Okay, so yes, Prinkle is making his way towards the hangar bay, negotiating the crowd, using his small stature as an advantage this time round, as he's able to slip through gaps that more traditionally sized people might struggle with.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're making good headway. And over the comms clicks in Quen, who was your pilot. Guys, the docking bay is on lockdown. You need to go a different way.
Okay. And also, potentially, I might have an idea for how we can get off the station safely. But I'll need to be on the ship, because if it doesn't work, then it's not the kind of thing that is good for last-minute improvisations.
Righto.
But I may have a plan. Okay, so, first of all, so you are all aware...
And Prinkle is going to try and tuck away somewhere where he can speak without being majorly overheard.
You are quite small, and there are lots of tables.
Yeah, so he's going to sneak under one of those.
You sneak under one of the buffet tables. Canapes piled on top. There is a tablecloth over it, so you're out of sight as well. What do you want to do?
Well, staying on the comms to Drom is let him know what I found out from the weapons designer. So he's hoping that the hubbub that's going on means that the crowd, if there is anyone around him, he's hoping that there's not, might be able to, they're too focused on the alarms and that. And he's going to say,
I was speaking to one of the guests here. They have converted a light freighter into some form of ramming weapon. They're going to be using it against the rebel, presumably the rebel capital ships. Oh my god,
says Drom.
That is what this whole celebration is about. They've been building it on Bolgo 7 on the shipyards. So...
There are no shipyards on Bongo 7?
That is the point, isn't it? There is, and this is what they have been using. They have made them in secret, and they have been building at least one, if not more, of these ramming vessels there. So, if only one of us get off here safely, we need to make sure this message is passed on.
Yes, we need... 1 second. Vass, bring up the schematic.
There's a silence, because quite clearly Vass cannot be heard on communicators, because Vass speaks to you in your mind.
Good. Right. Okay, there's another hangar bay that hasn't been used for the party.
Okay.
I'm gonna send Vass up to the party level to meet you. Quen, meet us on G12. Hopefully they haven't locked it down. We might be able to get out that way.
Okay, I'll make my way there.
Alright.
Send it to my data slate if you can. I have it tucked into my compartments.
1 second.
There's a beep.
Meet Vass on the back stairs.
Okay.
and I make my way to the back stairs to try and rendezvous with Vass.
At the back of the room, there's like a service door, and there are people going in and out of it frantically, but round the corner from that, you can see quite clearly Vass just standing there, not being noticed by anybody. You notice, because they're just standing there, but everybody else seems to be just ignoring.
I make my way over and regroup.
Hello there, did you manage to do what you needed?
Yes, we've managed to find Grey Echo. Now we just have to extract ourselves.
Okay, so let's tuck away in here so no one can see us, and we will have a look on these schematics to see if we can work out how best to get to G12.
Several Imperial officers and a couple of stormtroopers run straight past you. They don't seem to pay you any attention. So your schematic is off the base. It's seemingly a little bit abstract because it doesn't show... it basically just shows areas and how they're connected. G12 is 5 levels below and to the aft. So you could take these stairs most of the way there.
Okay, so if we head down here for a few levels, then we might have to get into the ducts or something like that to get there. They're the special pipes in the walls that are there when it is dramatically appropriate for them to be there.
Service ducts.
Yes, let's say that then. We will need to get down. I might need to go through the service ducts until we get to where we're going. But I'm confident that we'll find a way. Let's make a move.
Okay, so I'd like you to roll me a stealth.
Can we get a bonus for the fact that I have no vocal cords? I must be stealthy.
No, you're not getting a bonus for not being able to speak. However, it can be a group test, so work it out amongst yourselves.
So I've got 3 agility. What have you got? Have you got any ranks in stealth?
No. I've got 2 agility, so I am just following you, little guy.
So we'll have a boost on that.
Thank you.
And the difficulty on this is just an average test.
Okay, so that's 3 green and a blue against 2 purple. 2 success, 1 threat.
Okay, so 2 successes, you get down 2 levels quite easily. But at the stairwell for the 3rd level, before you go into it, and this is what your threat is going to be, before you go further down, you notice there is a group of stormtroopers and an Imperial officer, and the Imperial officer is giving out orders to the stormtroopers. He says, "There's been a break-in. Search every level. We don't know who we're looking for, but detain anybody who looks like they shouldn't be there."
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Do the stormtroopers go off, leaving just the officer?
They all split off and go in different directions. There are stormtroopers coming this way.
Okay, but where's the officer?
He's staying on the stairwell at the moment. So 2 stormtroopers go up the stairs towards you, 2 of them go down, and a couple of them go into that floor.
Is there anywhere immediately obvious that we could go and hide?
You could enter this floor. You go through, because you're on the stairwell above them.
Yeah.
You could go into this floor and they may not necessarily follow you.
We'll do that to begin with then. and
Okay.
then see if there's anywhere on there to hide.
Okay, you go through the double doors onto the floor, and this looks like it might be a personnel area. There's lots of doors either side, like they might be for individual bunk rooms. There does seem to be a lot of people moving around, but nobody seems to be paying you that much attention right at the moment.
Okay, so we're going to go to the Fresher, which is probably fairly nearby.
Yes, yep,
And in the Fresher,
yes.
I'm going to see whether or not there's a service duct.
Okay. Would you like to flip a light side point to find one?
Yes, I will.
Okay. And yes, there is. You go into the Fresher, and just above where the sinks are, there is a large for you, but too small for anybody of
A more traditional size.
who's not a Sil Zero character. There is a duct which you are quite easily and readily able to enter.
Okay, I reach into the tools that are secreted, that are in my racing gear. I pop the duct open. I give Vass a boost in.
I am going to ask you to do a mechanics roll, and it's just going to be a simple test, but I'm going to upgrade that to a red because of the inherent dangers of you being noisy.
That seems fair. So my pool is 1 yellow, 2 green, and 1 red. And my toolkit's what let me do it in the first place.
Yep.
That is 2 success and a triumph.
Oh,
Excellent,
yeah.
well done. You very easily take the grate off of this duct without making any noise at all. What is your triumph for?
So, these ducts are not only wide enough for us. I mean, we've got to crawl. We've got to kind of die hard our way around. But this is an Imperial facility.
Yes.
And Imperial facilities are modular.
Yes.
So what happens is they get built on various factory planets, they get flown here in freighters, and they get assembled in orbit.
That's correct.
Which means there has to be notations on which bits join to which.
Yes.
And those notations are still here.
They are.
So by looking at those notations and comparing them with the schematics, I can work out the quickest and fastest way to get down towards G12.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for your triumph, and you tell me if you agree with this. We are going to screen wipe,
Okay?
and you are now on G12, looking through a little duct into what looks to be a hangar bay,
That sounds good to me. Yep.
bypassing all of the issues we might have had.
Yeah, that seems great. And obviously I closed the duct behind
Oh
us.
yeah,
And
yeah, no, that's a given. That's a given.
Vass is quite impressed with your nimble skills and your ability to read the notation until she looks at the wall, and you just hear, in an almost sarcastic tone, "Insert part B to part C. It's that simple."
Imperials.
and Prinkle shrugs.
You take no time at all to reach the hangar bay. You are looking at a large, expansive hangar through a small grate in the wall. The hangar houses a single ship. It is a large, heavy transport. It has unmistakable Imperial design, with a single central cockpit and 2 forward-facing blade-like wings. It looks brand new. It looks incredibly scary. On the other side of the hangar, you see Commander Drom hiding behind a couple of barrels. With him, there is a small floating droid.
Is the droid Grey Echo?
That's the asset, yes.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so
What was the name of our pilot again? Queg?
Quen.
I pop on comms.
okay, so me and Vasa, we're in the ducts above. I can see you, Commander Drum, and where is Quen? Quen, where are you? Where are you, my friend?
There's a pause of what seemingly is a long time, but must only be a couple of seconds. And Quen crackles in. I'm afraid I can't make it. The base is on high alert. There's no way of getting down there. I can't believe you got down there. Look, I'm going to attach myself to a couple of the celebrities. Get off the base this way. Don't worry. I have friends here. I'll get out. You guys get out as quick as you can.
I come back over.
It doesn't sit well with me leaving people behind.
There's no way of getting down there. Don't worry. I'll find a way.
Whereabouts are you?
I'm on floor 6.
Floor
6 is 6 floors above you. Look, don't worry. There's a number of... I think I might be able to find a way out. I'll meet you back at the planet.
Vass puts a hand on your shoulder. He understands. There is a greater purpose in this mission.
That is not reassuring me. I do not want to leave anyone behind. That is the whole point of us being here.
But at risk of us all being caught, there is no purpose of being here either.
Can you fly that thing?
Not particularly well, I admit.
Commander, can you fly that thing?
I'm not a pilot.
Then we need to get him out, yes? 'Cause I can't fly that thing.
We'll have to make do. If he says he can't get to us, he can't get to us.
We will not abandon them. It's just that this might not be the best time. Occasionally, we will have to wait and get him later.
No. Okay. Commander, you are already here, okay? You are by the vessel and you have as much chance of flying this as any of the rest of us, okay? You and the Grey Echo and Vass, you go. I will go and get him and find another way out.
There's a pause. And you can see Drom on the other side. And he seemingly, his brow is furrowed. And because of his thick fur on his jowls, he looks incredibly serious right now.
If only one of us is getting out of here, then it needs to be you with Grey Echo. But I'm not leaving people behind. That is not who I am. I cannot do it. So, the primary importance is that you and him get away, or you and they get away from here.
Okay, I agree.
I am expendable, but I'm not leaving people behind. Either then we all get away, or at least you're away, but I'm not leaving him. I can't do it. Gwen, try to get to the service docks. I'll come up and meet you.
Okay.
Vass, you should probably go as well. It is nice knowing you.
Grey Echo is safely with the commander. You might need another pair of hands.
If you're sure. But I'm getting him out of here.
Vass looks over towards the commander and presses a few buttons on a wrist communicator.
Drom looks at his data slate and then says into the comms,
Well, if you're sure.
If you think you can get Grey Echo back to base without me, I truly think I might be more needed here. And we will meet you there.
Vass, you're... I can't hear you.
They type out another short message, which is very determined and finishes with a nod.
Right.
You can see Drom pull out a pistol and start moving his way towards this big freighter. Not really a freighter, it's more of a gunship. Where are you going?
Back into the vents, start making our way up towards floor 6. And yes, message Gwen and say,
Find somewhere out of sight where you can get into the vents. Let me know the code of where you're up to. If there's one thing I know, I may not be a pod racer, but I know how to clean an Imperial facility, and I know how the vents to let that happen without getting under the feet of Imperial officers work.
Okay.
as canonically established in Season 1 of the Cold Fire Chronicles.
Yes, indeed.
That is one dedicated cleaner. Oh no, stormtroopers everywhere. Oh, but I really need to do the kitchen.
That is a cleaner who knows that if he doesn't, he's going to get beaten.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So I would like you to do me a stealth check again to climb through the gratings and not make it obvious that there are several people clunking through these gratings. I'm going to give you a couple of boosts. Basically, one, because of that was a good hustle, and two, because it is a little bit canon that this is what Prinkle does.
And what's the difficulty?
The difficulty on that is just 2 purple.
3 success, 3 advantage.
Okay, so with your successes, you get up to the 6th floor, no problem, and open the grate to the 6th floor bathroom. This is 1 floor below where the hangar was and where the party was. Mm-hmm. In the bathroom, you also find Quen. He is hiding in the very sensible place that people hide in these situations, in one of the stalls. What do you want your advantages to be?
That was what I was going to ask for my advantage.
I'm giving you that because that's where I decided he was going to be hiding.
I get him up and in, and we close the grates behind us without it being obvious. And I'm happy to burn at least, I'm happy to burn advantage on that, basically being so it's not obvious that this grate has been tampered with at all.
Okay.
And he's also is he another Chadra fan? What is he?
No, he's human.
Oh, he's human.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be a bit more cramped for him.
Yeah. Well, this is why he couldn't get through the grates.
Yeah. So, with any advantages I have left, okay, I managed to find on the schematics not so much these service ducts, but a service corridor.
Yes.
Now, it's not going to be able to take us all over the base like the vents do, but at least it means that he can walk or crawl without it being overly uncomfortable to get us some of the way towards the hangar.
All right. Yeah, those advantages will take up that service corridor.
That's absolutely fine.
You sneak out of the bathroom. The place is still on high alert and the alarm is still going off.
Yeah.
They are quite clearly still searching for whoever has done whatever has set the alarm off. But there are a number of... They're almost... they're like gangplanks above everything else. Because whilst the corridors are narrow, there are above every single one of the corridors, there is a bit where all the wiring goes and where everything like that. So it's transporting through there. And unlike the service corridor areas, which they send droids down, these have to have engineers go into them, so there's enough space above where you are to go through.
And this is the Empire's racism playing into our advantage for once.
Yes.
Because most of their engineers are human.
Yeah. You walk your way through, and fortunately, the thing with hangars is they tend not to be just on one floor because they're huge. So you, at the end of this gangplank, come across what seemingly is another grate, which you think, with a short push through, will get you to where the hangar is.
Okay, so I think this is where we now need to go. Quen, you're going to have to think thin, I'm afraid, my friend. Vas, we should be okay. I'm going to go and poke my head out and just take a look what is over there. Now, this I appreciate is perhaps not the most politest way of phrasing what I'm about to ask you, Vas, but I'm feeling the pressure here. So I know my way through the vents of places like this, and Quen is a flyboy. What skills do you have in case we need them? Are you good at slicing, or are you good at making people not notice you, or are you good at the shooting and the fighting in case we have to fight, or...
I'm a diplomat.
Okay, that's useful. That is a handy thing. Okay.
Some of the skills inherent with my people allow me to adapt to situations and communicate with others on a level more than the pure conscious, as well as being able to affect the physical body with my medicinal skills.
Okay, that might be very handy. I mean, I'd rather try to talk our way out of things if we have to, because they are stormtroopers with heavy blasters, and I am not.
Okay, so Quen, while you're talking about this, has pulled off his belt what looked to have been a multi-tool, and he is pulling it apart and putting it back together in different configurations.
Man with a golden gun style.
Very much man with a golden gun style. And after about 20 seconds, he has what looks to be a very rugged light blaster pistol.
Okay. So, yes. I mean, I'm hoping that it will not come down to any form of violence, but...
Who's going first?
I will go first.
He passes you that pistol.
Okay. Thank you.
You hear footsteps behind you, unmistakably, of stormtroopers' shoes on the metal floors. It's time to go.
Okay, the blaster is being flipped to stun, because Prinkle doesn't like hurting people.
Yep.
And I'm going to go first.
Okay. It's quite an easy way through. It's less of an easy way through for Quen, but Quen is not especially a big person, so he can pull his way through. He's not got much other than he can go forwards. He can't go back.
That's fine.
What order are you going in? I know that you're going first. Are you going second or last?
I'm going to go last to make sure that no one follows us.
Right up.
And just before Quen follows Prinkle, I guess I'm going to speak to Quen only. And in his head, he'll hear someone say, "This is the bravest child of family I've ever met."
I've not met many, says Quen. You can hear that.
He wouldn't let you stay here on your own. We had to come back for you.
I owe him one if we get out of here alive.
I think we all will. They pat him on the back.
Prinkles kind of takes the lead, scampers through.
You're at quite a low angle. You're probably only about 2 feet off the floor when you get to the grate that the hangar is on. And you recognise it. You've been here before. There are a number of ships. What catches your eye mostly, though, is the 4 stormtroopers standing up on the gangplank, obviously defending this area from anybody coming into it and leaving.
What I'm going to do before I get out of the grate, first of all, is from my toolkit that's kind of secreted around my bits, I'm going to take out one of those extendable dentist mirror type things.
Oh, yeah.
Poke it through the grate and see what's to the left and the right of me. Because I can see directly ahead and I can see the stormtroopers. Is there anyone else I've not noticed? Technicians or...
You have one of these because obviously you are a tunnel rat, as it were. You go through these tunnels all the time, and it's helpful to make sure you're not jumped on by scavenger rats or whatever.
Yeah.
And no, this place seems pretty locked down, with the guards up by the door where the bouncer was when you first came in.
And which way are they looking?
2 of them are looking into the hangar bay. 2 of them are looking towards where the door is. So 2 of them may be able to see you as you go in, but there are lots of ships in between you and them. Depending on how quiet you are, you might not draw their attention.
That's going to be my first attempt then.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to try and, as quietly as possible, pop the grate out.
Yes.
Put it to one side and get out into the hangar bay.
Okay. Right. I would like you to roll me a stealth check. Again. Or an engineering check, depending on what you fancy.
I'd rather mechanics.
Yeah. And sorry, mechanics check.
Yeah, I'd rather mechanics because I have a rank in that, but also because I'm not trying to force this off. Yeah. I'm unscrewing it slowly. I know where the connectors are because I've done a few of these now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd like to do. So use mechanics. I would like to argue for a boost because I've done quite a few of these now quietly, so I know how to do it as quietly as possible. I'm actually going to
give you 2 boosts, and I'll explain why once you've rolled. That's an unusual way of doing it, but I will explain in a second.
Okay, and the difficulty?
The difficulty is their notice things, which, bear with me a second.
Will it be for the minion group of 2 or a minion group of 4? I suppose it's 2 because that's what's looking in.
So that is an average test.
That is taken 5 episodes, but the dice are finally loving me. That is 3 success, 1 advantage, and a triumph, baby.
Oh man, we could tap dance past these guys at the moment.
And what the triumph is this. The Wookiee actor is getting annoyed that he can't get to his ship. He somehow managed to get out of the ballroom where everyone is.
Yes.
Surrounded by his minders.
Yes. 1
or 2 Imperial officers that are big fans of the show and are trying to... And he's been arguing with them like, I need to leave. I have to leave this place. And they're like, well, you just wait with us for the moment. What's going on? And that is distracting the stormtroopers enough that the 2 that are facing into the corridor have moved into the other side of that door. And the 2 that are looking into the gang into the hangar bay,
Yes.
have also turned round and taken a step into the corridor. So just for this one shining moment, this one brief second of time, all 4 of them are on the other side of the door to the hangar in the corridor.
I'll tell you what happens. You start unscrewing the screws. The first screw in the top corner goes. The second screw, the third screw goes. And as you're just about to release the last screw, the station is rocked by an explosion.
Oh.
All of the guards turn round, and at that point, the Wookiee, seeing his opportunity to leave, pushes forwards against these stormtroopers. And as you are lowering carefully the grate down, one of the stormtroopers flies backwards off of the walkway, arms flailing, and bounces off one of the ships. It looks like the fight has started up on the walkway.
Okay, well that's yeah. Okay, that also works. That works.
So your Wookiee idea is happening.
Yep.
But he's taken the advantage of an explosion.
That's even better.
Now is the time to go. There are several ships in here.
The good thing about this is that my follow-up was then going to be, I'm going to try and use Star Wars door logic and shoot the thing and trap them on the corridor. But this means I don't have to do that, which means it won't tip them off at all. So that works. That works for me.
And that was what your Russian boost was for, by the way, because there was going to be an explosion.
Hurrah! Though that worries me, because I'd imagined that whatever was going to be being demonstrated... then again, it might have been Quen, it might have been Drom. Who knows? There is monkey wrenching going on.
Drom has
here.
just stolen a very expensive ship.
Yep. There's been monkey wrenching going on. Prinkle's not going to question it. Off we pop, and we're going to try and get to our ship.
Yes.
Because it's our ship, and we can. So yeah, we seize the advantage and we...
You make your move. Now is the time. There is quite a kerfuffle. I think that's the word when a Wookiee fights, right? A kerfuffle?
Yep, kerfuffle.
There's quite a kerfuffle going on the walkway.
I think you mean kerfluffle.
No?
No, because they're Wookiees
Because they're
and furry.
Wookiees, so they're fluffy.
All right, a kerfluffle. There's quite a kerfluffle going on, a kerfuzzle going on the walkway. You dash over to the shuttle. Quen is somewhat distracted by the fight going on with the Wookiee.
Could we have grabbed the blaster rifle off the unconscious stormtrooper as we went past?
You couldn't, but that's what Quen is doing.
Good.
He grabs hold of the rifle and, without another word, aims and fires.
Pringles.
No. That is murder. We do not murder. That is their tool. Get in the ship.
That's great. I'd like you to roll initiative, please.
It's got to be vigilance because I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yep.
1 success, 2 advantage.
3 success, 2 advantage.
Okay, so this is how it works. We're going player, NPCs, player. Now, the shot reeks out and hits the stormtrooper right in the shoulder. One of the stormtroopers spins and falls to the floor.
Would anyone object if I took the first slot?
Not at all.
Okay, so as a free action, I would like to continue berating Quen.
Yeah.
We do not murder. Murder is what they do. We just get in the ship, Quen. Do not make me invoke the great tree frog on you.
And what are you doing for your actions?
I'm taking aim at the control panel for the door.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot the door.
Okay.
Which, I was hoping not to have to do, but he's forced my arm.
Okay.
So I'm going to shoot the door.
And you're looking up at where the stormtroopers and the Wookiee were fighting. They were overpowering him. There are 3 of them, and he had been stunned a few times.
Yeah, but they're not going to kill him because he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
We need to get away from here.
Yes.
Everyone else and I know it sounds oddly callous.
Yes.
Because Prinkle was prepared to risk everything to come back for Quen.
Yeah.
But that's because Quen is part of his crew at the moment. And everyone else on here has made a decision to come up here and schmooze with Imperials.
Uh-huh.
They have made that choice to put themselves at that risk. And though he doesn't want any harm to come to anyone else, he is not taking responsibility for their decisions.
Yes.
But Quen is part of his crew at the moment.
Understand.
So, he's going to take aim, I said, at the door lock while the stormtroopers are on the other side and attempt to close that down.
Okay, so you are at medium range, so 2.
2 purple.
I'm going to give you a black in there as well because it's a cold shot.
Well, it is in fact 2 black.
Is it for a cold shot? I'm happy with that. Yeah.
So it's 2 black because it's a cold shot aim. So it's 2 black. I'm then going to spend 2 strain to take a second maneuver to aim.
Yep.
And that reduces it, rather than giving me a blue, that reduces it down to a single black for the cold shot.
I'm happy with that. You are rolling really well today.
No.
I can see one of the dice.
Yeah, so that is a failure, but a triumph and an advantage.
Okay.
So I've missed the door.
You've missed. The door is not closing. You've not done any damage. What do you want your advantage and your triumph to be?
Right. For my triumph,
yes.
What I want is that the stormtrooper group haven't noticed.
Okay.
So though my shots kind of winged off and missed the doorway, they haven't noticed and therefore have not yet noticed us. They're still kind of distracted by...
Would you like to include the fact that the one that Quen has shot, the 2 that are still there, haven't noticed? Is that as well? Okay.
Yeah. And then for my advantage, I would like my speech to Quen to have shaken him out of it.
Okay.
He's kind of gone, oh, actually, no, he's right, we need to get out of here.
Okay.
So that's what I'd like, please.
All right. Your shot fires off. It's a little wide, but that sound of the blaster shot seemingly, as you rightly say, draws Quen out of the combat. Does anybody else want to do anything, or are you all wanting to escape now? Because I'm happy to end this combat with you getting onto the ship. Do you want to...
Vass is quite tempted to help the Wookiee, having had more time now and her attention directed to the fight that's happening.
Well, if you want, you'll go next. I tell you, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
It's actually quite awkward. There's not much I can do from a distance without trying to use the Force. Ooh. I don't use the Force very often.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, Vass is going to try and throw just before we head out because you haven't managed to close the door.
Yes.
She'd like to try and use influence basic power to just confuse them a little, calm them down. Confusion can be created, using.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Here we go. What do I roll for it?
So that's 3 green and a Force die against 1 purple and 1 red.
3 green, a Force die, 1 purple and 1 red. So Vass is going to reach out and try to confuse them all. That could have been worse. We have got... Cancels that out. So 2 success, 3 threat and a dark side.
Okay, do you want to use the dark side?
Yes.
Okay, flip over a light side point, please. And with your threat, I would like you to take strain because you are reaching out and pushing your mind into theirs. With your successes, you concentrate. The sirens of the station and the general hubbub of the combat fall away. So all you can see is their minds and the connection between your mind and everybody else's. This is how you normally communicate. It's not something that's too difficult for you to do. All you need to do, therefore, is push too much information towards them. And that tends to scramble people's brains a little bit as you do it. You send out a pulse. And because it's dark side, you send out the fear of the situation, the anger in what they're doing, the confusion over the entirely what's going on. Quen, who is generally a peaceful person, the confusion in him suddenly picking up a blaster and reacting. You push it out, and it hits squarely one of the stormtroopers, right in the face. They stumble backwards. They are not for 6, and they tumble back into the room, the antechamber outside the hangar. It's PC's turn now. The Wookiee takes his opportunity and leaps off of the gangplank down into the hangar below. He looks around. He sees one of the ships and starts making his way purposely over towards it. Quen, in his go, stops aiming the rifle and makes his way onto the ship. As he turns to you, he says, "He's my friend."
Okay. Do we want to get him on here, or is he going to make his own way? But we need to leave now.
Quen nods, turns around and whistles. And the Wookiee looks over and starts making his way.
Okay. Now, do we need... are the docking clamps on this holding it in place?
No.
Okay.
No, you're in a space station, so you're all just in the bay.
And we can just fly out through the ray shield generally?
Yes.
Well, we get in and we...
Okay. You all pile into the shuttle. The doors close, and instantly the alarm is quietened. Quen focuses for a few seconds, starts pressing buttons, and the engines flare into life.
Do you need me to do anything, or should we just clunk-click?
"Sit here," he says, pointing towards the co-pilot seat. You can hear blaster shots behind you. Gunnery controls are just there. If we need it, we need it.
Okay.
The shuttle takes off, and there's a sudden acceleration as you fly out of the ray shield, and then obviously the acceleration stops because of there's inertia in the space station, but less so out in space.
Yes.
Science, kids.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You can hear shots, and you see out of the windscreen a giant heavy freighter, a gunship, if you would, with huge blade-like wings to either side, flying against a number of TIE fighters. It seems to be doing okay. As the weapons engineer said, the lack of maneuverability of this larger ship seems to go to its advantage as it bats a TIE fighter out of the way, basically because it can't move quick enough and just is getting in the way of these much more maneuverable ships. There's an explosion in space. And after a few seconds, the TIE fighters regroup, and in that time, there is a flash, and the hyperdrive kicks in. Commander Drom is away. What do you do?
Okay. Punch it, Quen. Let's get out of here.
1 second, calibrating.
Anybody good at astrogation?
No, I'm terrible. Thank you, by the way. I know when the tide has turned, they would have kept us in there for a long time. Time to get out, if you know. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, in my brain. Oh, that's jolly good.
It's a toad.
I'm thinking of a number. What is it?
5?
My God, they're all at it.
I was going to say, what do I roll to guess that? Because, by gosh, I bet they get asked it a lot.
The hyperdrive kicks in, and you are flung into hyperspace. It is only a short trip between this sector and Port Haven.
Port Haven.
Thank you. And after what seems like no time at all, but enough time for you to calm down
And get back into his own comfortable clothes.
and get back into your own comfortable clothes, you find yourselves landing back close to where you were picked up by the rebels. The ship, the bladed, heavy frigate gunship, is already there. Drom is all smiles and happy, and he welcomes you all with open arms.
I didn't think you'd be able to do it. That's incredible. Oh! Click! Prinkle, you are just a hero of the rebellion.
Oh no, I'm just doing my part, is all.
Oh. We should We should get you back to your ship
Oh yes, probably.
as quickly as we possibly can, I think.
Hopefully, JAL 360 will have arrived with the tea, and if I'm not there when the rest of my crew arrive, there will be many questions. I imagine I probably can't tell them about what I've been doing, given what's been going on. It's okay. For one day, I was bigger than I am.
Generally, spying is secret, if you know what I mean.
Oh yes. For one day I was bigger than I usually am, and that's enough.
Oh, Prinkle, it was not for one day. You were inspirational today. You showed us just how much bravery can exist in one person. And Quen would not be here with us. They would still be waiting to find an opportune moment to leave in a very dangerous situation if you hadn't had the courage to stand and demand we went back for them.
You saved my life, says Quen.
Prinkle kind of looks a little embarrassed and lowers his head and kind of scuffs his foot. Now,
One second, I have something for you, says Quen, and he scurries off. And you can see him at the other end of the warehouse. There is a Chedrafan who has a massive cup of tea in his hand. And he goes and talks to this Chedrafan, and there's a little bit of the Chedrafan shaking his head, and Quen's having an animated conversation about what's going on. And Drom, while this is going on, says,
Well, I don't think we could have done it without you.
We all do what we can. We give what we can, that's all.
If only there was something I could do to thank you.
Quen comes back, and he says, I've got something for you.
Oh?
And he hands you a medal.
Oh.
And on the medal, it says, 2nd place, Port Haven, annual pod race.
Oh, that's very nice. But I didn't get to 2nd place. It's his.
It's to remember what you did today.
I will cherish it, my friend. Thank you.
Shall we get you back?
Yes, but...
Prinkle kind of stops, pulls out his chronometer, looks at it.
It's getting quite late.
And then kind of very slightly looks a little bit crestfallen and goes,
Okay, let's go.
You're taken back through the jungle in a speeder. It's kind of an anticlimax, and the speed you're going round, what essentially is the track that's been pulled out for the pod racers, is a quarter of what you were driving around it earlier in the day. You go back into Port Haven. Port Haven's a lot more subdued now. The race is over. There is quite obviously a vibrant nightlife going on as part of this pod race celebration, but it's nowhere near as busy. And just as you get to the Coalfire's Mercy, it's getting a little bit dark. Outside the Coalfire's Mercy, there are a number of boxes that Hawker's people have brought in, and a little droid with a repulsor tray filled with general supplies.
Hi there!
Oh, hello again, JAL 360. It is nice to see you again.
It's great to see you too! I guess you've had a really busy day.
A little bit of one. I never did get my broom, but it's okay. I did other things. But I probably owe you more credits now.
and he takes out some of his last remaining dwindling credit sticks and he puts another 10 credits in.
You're not owed anything, but it's always nice to have a tip.
I mean, I expected to be back a long time. You've missed out on other business. It's only fair.
Oh, it's fine. There was so much to pick up from the store, and they were really grateful about you being there to open it. I don't get to work with celebrities very often.
Oh, it's okay. Let's get this unloaded. Thank you again for your help.
Anytime!
You start unloading the repulsor, and as you're taking the first load up into the ship, you notice at the top of the gangplank, just laying on one side, with a little bow on it, there is a broom. A brand new repulsor broom. If you remember from Drom, back as you were picked up, and he sent off a couple of people to see to you getting the broom, it looks like they've pulled through.
Oh, I got my broom after all. It's like Life Day. Miracles can happen.
And as you start moving everything back into the ship, you hear, coming from the jungle, familiar voices of Lasser and Agatha and Oberon and Jaren. It looks like something's happened It looks like they're quite distraught.
Oh no, this cannot be. My friends are harmed.
And he quickly makes some space away, gets the medkit out, and waits for them at the top of the gangplank. And as they come in, he goes,
My friends, you appear to have a terrible day. Come here, let me tend your wounds. I'll put the kettle on. You can tell me all about it.
And we zoom out away from the Coldfire's Mercy. We zoom out from Port Haven. And we end just looking up into space and the adventures that will follow.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this excellent adventure. We hope you had as much fun listening to it as we did recording it. And before we go, this episode's patron is Kai. Thank you so much for backing us. We're so glad to have you aboard and enjoying the show. Right, thank you, and thank you everyone else for listening to this little interlude. Force Majeure will be back next week with our episode 0 morality and recap chat for Shadows of the Jedi. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.